looking at the joystick on the Kawai K1. It's actually pretty cool. So when you turn the keyboard on, the joystick does nothing. You actually have to hit the stick button and turn it on. And when you turn it on, it is going to only say balance, and that will make it balance on and off, and that's good, I guess. But then you will go into edit, and you'll see that we have these A, B, C, D buttons. Each one of them have the common, the frequency, the wave, and the envelope, but you double click them and then you get into the effects. And I was like, where the hell are the effects on this keyboard? So now I know. And starting out, we're using the clavinet sound. You'll note that there are 4 tones that are built into this, and they're able to be turned on and off by clicking 1 through 4 on the buttons, and then 5 through 8 will allow you to actually control the parameter for each one of those tones. So what's cool about this is you can use it as like a real-time filter, or you can use it to just generate a tone. In both cases, I think you'll see that you can take the clavinet sound and make some really wild stuff out of it. I was not expecting it to be as fun as this. Okay, now we're going into the multi-patch windows part where we've double-clicked common or A, and we get to vibrato. Not a big fan of that. vibrato, there are multiple parameters, including the speed and the depth and the wave that the vibrato is running on. So if you're up for some vibrato, which I'm generally not, you can affect it quite a lot. And I guess the reality is, because you have 4 tones, it can make it pretty subtle and have one of your tones have a little bit of vibrato. Just give it a little bit more life. I hope you're getting a sense that this is actually like pretty easy synthesis. You don't need to be an expert. The nested controls are a little bit dumb, but at the same time, there's so much that you can actually do, and you can make a lot of very interesting sounds working off the presets, which is nice. And I guess as a competitor to the D50, I still don't really see it, or the M1. Yeah, not quite, but at the same time, this is a really good intro synthesizer for somebody, especially from in the digital age, where we got very quickly into rumplers that were pretty boring very soon after this. So I think this is still a much cooler instrument than I thought it would. You can do really long attacks across each of your tones and get to a pretty cool dynamic sounding patch overall, which is pretty exciting. I think the application for this, I probably would be making sounds and then sampling them these days, but back in the day, probably storing them and coming up with a set of sounds that really fit your need could be loads of fun. And I do think that the joystick, it's weird that it's really like X, Y. It seems like left to right is the only thing. There's no like up and down. It would be cool if you could kind of map 2 parameters to the joystick. You might be doing some early days proto chaos pads type stuff with that, and make some wild kind of sounds for live tweaking. Please do like and subscribe. I think the K1 is a much better instrument than I expected it to be.